Yeah, hi guys. Today we set out to present a kind of manifesto or some rationale for our being as a free university, so to speak. So we ask the question: can universities actually be free? And obviously, in principle, we say it can be free. Has it been created to be free? Probably not. You know, so universities, if you like, big conversation or forum or medium, if you like, where different people from all sorts of backgrounds, and particularly when you are in the UK, for example, where I am familiar with and have experience in the over 2 decades here, then you have more of international students. So all people from all over the world come together to sort of co-create, and in some regards, you can say become experts or academics in their own field, whether as training academics or as proper academics. So we here, universities are created for that sort of knowledge exchange or that sort of knowledge dynamics. But and then now there's more people going to universities than when they were originally thought of as an exclusive group or as a small privileged group where if you are very well to do from aristocratic family, your parent or your family will send you over to speak with somebody who has been declared as maybe a knowledgeable person who has learned by knowing himself and then trying like Aristotle days and then the Socratic period, you know. So, or the rulers who made an effort to sort of have a basis for why they think they rule. So, all of those sort of engagement have with them the exclusivity that we are we are privileged, or the idea of a privilege. So, we here have set out to provide free, good quality academics or lectures, knowledge within three broad areas for now: accounting, business, and then business. When you say business, management, and then economics. Okay, some aspects of economics, and over time, I think we would probably scale up and then get other people who will be able to provide some of these resources for free. So the reason why universities are not really free is mainly because, yes, they will say they need more classrooms, more ability to put people together, and then the facilities for both academics, the lecturers. The lecturers need time to meet. Again, historically, in Aristotelian days, they would do this under trees, like maybe a primary school teacher would do with their kids, with their pupils, if the weather is good. But now the universities have turned them. One of the reasons that the universities cannot be free, and and this video is in the back, comes on the back shot of only this week, early part of this week, where the suggestion that university tuitions in the UK at the moment, and especially for England, where I am, is capped at 9,250. So the institution I work for had a fee of 9,250 per annum. Okay, that's the tuition fee, obviously before your maintenance and then your accommodation cost, which for even student loans is not enough. So you definitely have to dip in from somewhere, whether from family or from a bank loan, if you have the ability to secure such means. So this year was, this week it was suggested that the fees, if they were to move up, should be within the neighborhood of 12,000 to 13,000 per annum if they have moved up with at least the level of inflation or whatever it is. But yes, it's a public good, so it cannot be looked at in the same way as we treat other commodities or other various business transactions, so to speak. But the universities have not all been frugal in terms of their dealings. So now the universities have become theaters, big theaters of of rooms, of showcasing, libraries. Libraries facilities have been rebuilt at a very massive scale, and where they've created canteens and things that they think will make students feel like they love the place. But then traditional libraries were no, there were no food in library facilities, and those, no, these days some of the libraries that they are building are actually having coffee points, places that you have, and obviously there are silent zones, and the stock and stock of books with less and less of maybe, and then maybe creating this sofa mentality of you can read there and those sort of things. So all of that is an allowed. They become a 5-star, some cases, some 5-star to 3-star sort of hotel engagement, and then less and less. And then the other thing that comes in also is that why universities are very expensive and why they cannot provide the knowledge that is required, the basic knowledge that is required to students for free or at a very low cost, is because of remuneration. The remuneration, especially of the top management or the senior management within the universities, have skyrocketed. The universities in the UK, they are top professors who are there who earn over 100,000 to 150,000, and then in some cases they are about a group of about anything between 10 to maybe 15 or even 20 staff, senior staff people within the university who are earning over 150,000, 250, and in some cases the highest paid sometimes can go up to 400,000 a year. You might say this is still relatively okay compared to maybe other universities in the world, like in America, but it is still high for universities in the UK where they don't seem to have a lot of endowment. I mean, like funding from other sources. So one of the fundamental things why, again, the cost structure of universities tend to be high is because the basic thing that you are supposed to provide, which is the knowledge, their academics or their lecturers or professors who are mainly in the university just to do research. Yes, research is important, but the whole idea of our research or university system was that you do the research and that informs or that sort of transmitting to your students. But these days, the universities have separated that. The luxury part of the research is being given only to certain specific academics. It is not based on ability. Mind you, research, as I always argue, is a take-home assignment. So if you are properly connected and networked, then the chances are that you come up with a certain idea where the journals, the publications will flow through. And then if you are only just on the hamstring of keep teaching and teaching, which is where you people actually, or which is where students actually really require, which is the idea that students need to understand certain principles, certain basic tenets of life that they can use to manage their life. That aspect of it is then downgraded to a small or some portions of lecturers who find themselves as the laborers within the system. So the cost structure of the university staff is skewed differently and is skewed highly among certain senior staff, academics and administrators, lecturers and administrators. Not lecturers because they've ceased to be lecturing. They're actually now administrators, but they were originally from a lecturing background, but now they are into into university administrations, and some of them are also career administrator, which means they never lectured, but then they are behind the scenes, whether they are lawyers or they are in accounting or HR, and they are there and they are earning huge amount of money. That is why the cost structures of these universities are going up. They used to be the case, especially in the UK, where the flow of, again, EU students into UK was really good. So they will come in and pay the same home EU student, as in the shift from originally 3,000. When I started teaching, it was 3,000, 3,250 or so, thereabout. And then by 2012, it went up to 9,000. And then some universities had the option to charge 9,250. So my institution used to charge 9,250. And now there's a suggestion that it should go up. But now we don't have the EU students coming in. And then obviously the international student that want to come in, particularly for undergraduate, you have to be super rich to be able to afford that sort of money. Because for you to finish an undergraduate in the UK, in some of the institutions with annual fees for international students of around 15,000 to 20,000 minimum, over 3 years, if you are doing a 3-year program, that takes you to about 60,000, north of 60,000. Plus, if you layer that, if you top this up with your maintenance costs, your books, and then travel costs and other things, then you are looking somewhere around 80 to 100,000, definitely minimum for for most international students. And obviously, there's also the friction with immigration, which is understandable that there's too many people in the UK, actually in England, and therefore we need to manage that. So all of this is putting pressure on the university. So the less numbers coming in from abroad, and then the majority of the majority of home students, which is those who are in England in particular, I reference England because universities are devolved, which means there are 4 countries in the UK: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. But each of them have their own systems as well, and then the fee structures are different. So I speak a lot more towards English universities or universities down south here. So the reason for that is that now they don't have the ability of getting free international students, or in the case of EU students who was it seemed like cheaper for them to come and study, but now they can't come and they are all treated as international students. So the only option now is that UK students have to pay more. This sort of issues are not issues, if you're already starting your university, are not issues that you want to worry about. But I'm just saying that our mission here as a free university is an attempt to revolutionize this trend by giving you a free, good quality lectures. Then it poses the question, for example, and I always say people talk about AI now and then the revolution in the digital space and how lectures will be replaced. I say that lectures may not necessarily be replaced, but it is a case of business opportunity meeting demand. So if there's option for a no frills academic knowledge being given for free, of course, universities are also created by charters or created by laws within countries to issue certificates. So if you take away the knowledge, then your only takeaway from a university, essentially, sadly, for some people, is that they have a piece of paper, which is acquired from after university, which is known as a degree, or in some cases in America they might call it a diploma, for you to say this is the end product of that. But if in some cases, even the knowledge, some students go through the system, they still acquire the certificate, but they miss out on the knowledge. They manage to pass, I don't know how, they managed to pass somehow, but they still didn't get it. And that is the mission of this free university project, that we are going to create people who have knowledge, free knowledge, whether if they are already in universities, to augment or support their studies or their program, and then for them to choose whether or not it is worthwhile. If they are yet to make that decision, particularly they are constrained by finances in funding their university education, and decide whether to go straight into entrepreneurship or even to start an apprenticeship, then as long as they invest the time to come to this platform, they could acquire a similar knowledge for free. The only thing that they'll have to show for is a testimony of their own wealth within themselves and not just the papers. Mind you, some employers have already started talking about the notion that they will not look at your degree. So if that becomes becomes a pervasive or becomes increasing trend, then chances are that whether you acquire your knowledge from some of us this platform, like what we are trying to do, or not, then you are going to see that you have actually gotten knowledge for free or for less or for nothing at all. So this is in brief an introduction or sort of a statement of our mission and where we seek to. So please support us by liking our page, our videos, and then keep up for more videos, especially the hard content as it start coming on accounting, on business, and then economics. Thank you.